today. I'm on the way to the gym, like usual. But yeah, I just kind of want to discuss, just some, natural things you should learn to live by if you're, if you're a gym rat like myself. And one of those things is don't underestimate, your ability to just, go supplement free or at least pre-workout free when you go to the gym, and just be able to hammer through a workout, just based on just getting the proper sleep and, eating right and, just taking the right vitamins and minerals and things like that throughout the day and the week. I'd say until I reached my early, maybe mid-20s, I never even took a pre-workout, ever. The only thing I'd ever taken was protein and creatine. That was it. And actually, I didn't even start taking creatine until I think I was at least 18-ish. Before that, I just took some protein here and there. But actually, I don't even know if that really worked very well for me, because I was just so... I don't know, I had such a fast metabolism. I was pretty lean, definitely an ectomorph, meaning that it was hard for me to put on weight. I was a hard gainer. And just recently I've noticed with these pre-workouts, I get some really good gains, with them, just because of, the added, almost like an adrenaline effect it gives you, right? Kind of locks you in, the focus, all that stuff. It really kind of helps with the ability to push through a workout. I know how it is right now because, I've got just a lot on my plate, working full time. I've got young kids and a puppy, and I've got all this stuff I got to attend to, right? So for me, my day-to-day is crazy, and it can be pretty exhausting. So in that situation, being able to push through a workout is super valuable, and one thing I would say is, if you can, the best thing to do is just to try to push through, on your own, without a pre-workout, especially if you start noticing that pre-workout doesn't work anymore. So one thing that I've noticed is pre-workouts start losing their effectiveness, and you have to keep taking more and more of the stimulant in those pre-workouts, whether it's caffeine or other stimulants. Once you hit probably it's either once you hit taking it more than 3 days a week, or once you've been taking it at least, 3 months or so. But definitely if you're taking it like every day, 5 days a week plus, for your workouts at the gym, or you start taking it for just to get through your day-to-day at work, although that can be effective, you get to the point where it just starts really eating into your, you basically start needing it, right? It starts eating into your day-to-day life and your regimen, and then it's not very good for you. I found that if I take like a really strong pre-workout after probably 4 o'clock or 3 or 4, I cannot go to sleep. Some of that delayed release caffeine and some of the other stuff, other stimulants, it'll just stick with me for like 6-7 hours, and sometimes even longer than that. And I just don't get any sleep. And then unfortunately, when you lose sleep, what you're doing is you're actually reducing your body's ability to produce testosterone, because, a lot of what your body naturally relies on for testosterone is getting proper sleep, along with proper, diet and staying active and things like that. But the sleep is a huge thing. That's literally one of the best natural supplements you can take, is just getting consistent sleep every night for like 8 hours. It's really funny because most people don't realize this. They try to take all these supplements like Tribulus terrestris and all these different things to boost their natural test levels. But in reality, aside from taking, testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, like a doctor or something like that, going to one of those men's health clinics, really the best way to do it is just get proper sleep. So yeah, if it's eating into your sleep, I would definitely not take it, or I would take a much lighter pre-workout, something that's, going to give you maybe a jolt of energy, like a Monster energy drink or something like that, but it's not really going to give you, sustained energy for like 6 hours, because that's the type of thing that unless you're working out in the morning and you have all day for it to wear off, or, you're taking it no later than early afternoon, you probably shouldn't be. So yeah, when I take those, I typically try to take them on the weekends when I can do like more of a mid-afternoon workout or something of that nature. But anyway, for right now, I've actually, last several days actually, I've been without a pre-workout, just gone to the gym, drank plenty of water, and I actually felt pretty good. I've been able to push through. I don't have quite, that amped up energy. It might take away like 5 pounds, possibly 10 pounds from one of my sets, or it might reduce my reps by a couple at the end of the day. But it's not really enough to make a huge difference. I'm not training for a powerlifting meet, nor am I training for any sort of like figure show or anything of that nature. I'm just trying to stay healthy, fit, look good. And in that case, you're really best off making sure everything else is good in your life first. That means your sleep, your diet, and just your overall exercise level and lifestyle before you even start taking supplements like protein and creatine and pre-workouts. These things, they all can work really well if everything else is in alignment. But when you fail to do a lot of other things, like, for example, when I had kids, at the beginning, especially, I was getting maybe like 3 hours of sleep on average most nights, because one of our kids was up all the time, and I wasn't getting sleep at all. I mean, I'm talking about, there are nights I feel like I got like 1 hour of sleep, but during those times, I was taking pre-workouts just to get through the day, or through my workouts. And I get it in that case. I mean, sometimes you're so sleep deprived, like you literally need like an energy drink or a really strong cup of coffee or something to even be able to drive somewhere without falling asleep at the wheel, or just having an issue, So I get that, but like once you're in a normal pattern or routine or habit, and you're getting decent sleep again and everything, yeah, it's good just to try to do without the pre-workouts sometimes, and the caffeine and all that. It also gives your CNS, your central nervous system, a chance to recover. And then when you do start taking them again, if you go off them for say like a month or whatnot, you'll notice a big difference. Your central nervous system will be recharged. You'll actually be able to get more benefit off of much less caffeine or stimulant, and so you don't really need that extra jolt like you did before. And then when you do go back on it, it's good to just, like I was saying, maybe you'd only take pre-workouts on your weekend workouts, or maybe you'd take like a lighter pre-workout, 3 times a week or something like that. Just lower the dosage and like the number of times you're taking it per week, and then you'll notice that you may never have to get off of the pre-workout. You may be able to just take it all the time, as long as you don't take it more than 3 dosages per week, and you're taking it at a time when you're actually able to get proper sleep and it's not affecting all that stuff, because that can just actually be counterproductive to your testosterone levels, your muscle recovery, all these different things that are important to working out, and just your overall health and longevity. So anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a good little rundown on that. I've dealt with it for quite a few years, and just I've just through guess and check and personal experience, I've learned a lot of this stuff. So anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a few tips, and yeah, talk to you soon. Peace.